So this is one of my favorite kind of movies where there's not a whole lot of plot, not a bunch of great dialogue, it's not very funny, but what it does so well is it just immerses you in a particular environment where after the movie's over, you feel like you've lived there and you feel like you've experienced what the people who live there go through every day. Similar to how Mudbound, I was so impressed how the cinematography was so great with just mud and dirt and this unappealing setting. Here the setting is this tacky, run-down motel, and it was one of the most visually beautiful movies I've seen all year. And you see the kids raising each other, running wild. You compare it to 1950s Stand By Me, and it looks so different, but fundamentally it's the same thing. And it's so interesting nowadays where parents are so fearful to let their kids just run and play in the street, and now it's scheduled play dates, always indoors, to see kids just running wild and kids just playing outside as they used to. It's very interesting. And then the mother-daughter relationship with Haley, she just stole the movie for me. First of all, the actress, such an interesting story about how she got discovered on Instagram, really interesting person. She was brilliant in this, such a realistic portrayal of someone who's a user and a deadbeat, but is just likable and charismatic enough to be able to manipulate and coax and sometimes bully their way to getting what she wants most of the time. And her relationship with her daughter, it's so sweet but so tragic because you don't feel like it's a mother-daughter relationship at all. They're more like sisters or even friends at times. You feel like she's at such a teenage maturity level and she's trying to raise this kid, and like what hope does her daughter have really? And when you see her running these scams with her daughter, it's just tragic. But when they do have success and they go on this little shopping spree in the dollar store, it's heartwarming nonetheless, and you have such mixed feelings about it. I had such mixed feelings about this movie in general. Haley, she's likable, but so hateable too. All the petty little ways she gets revenge, ordering all this food at this restaurant and then making the waitress bag it up for her, pulling her tampon out and sticking it to the door, just all these horrible, immature ways that she gets revenge. And then you get this really charged scene where a woman who's obviously very family-oriented, very traditional, is looking at Haley with her daughter just with disgust and seeing the disintegration of a whole culture happening right before her eyes on a microcosm level. And little things as simple as the kids listening to rap music and twerking, it's so unsettling and hard to watch. But then you have these really sweet moments as well when they're all together watching the fireworks, just this basic human activity. Again, this movie it shows the full spectrum, the good and the bad. Willem Dafoe was incredible in this. Most people know him as the Green Goblin. You see him, he knows Haley's using him and he knows he's enabling her and he really should take a tougher stand on her. But he's just such a good guy and he's just so compassionate. He just can't do it. And there's this incredible scene with him and this pedophile that it just goes on and on and on, but it never loses an ounce of the tension. That entire scene that just drags and drags, and you would think it's going on way too long. Every single moment is just so charged. If you want a traditional movie with a plot and lots of action, you're probably going to be a bit disappointed. But if you want a movie that's going to expose you to different lives and different kinds of people in a really fair, compassionate way, but that never sugarcoats it. It shows you all the ugliness as well as the beauty. You're gonna love this movie. You're gonna really have felt like you walked in someone else's shoes, lived in a different part of the world. Next best thing to actually traveling and getting out there and seeing the world.